one for you, Mr. Cummings. You say your party is ready to hear you.
I'm telling now, Simon, you ready? This one girl, she went to play she mask, but forget she am banned, so they push she out. Yes, they push she out. I see she jump over the fence and watch she climb over the roof, but they push she out.
OMG in the morning. Morning.
What she do? Wind to the side, wind to the side, wind to the side, wind to the side, wind to the 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 wind.
Are you truly ready?
Are you ready, Daniel? Daniel, are you ready? Daniel, are you ready?
Been ready a long time, bro.
But we have 2 weeks to go, but you're still saying we're ready.
Let me hear Danny. Danny, you had a question.
So Baby Doll is going to kick this segment off. Let's go, Baby Doll.
Okay, so Mr. Cummings, my question to you is, have you considered being the president of the New Democratic Party?
Honestly,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I have never given any thought to it. I'm very comfortable with the way the party is being led. If the opportunity comes, I might give it a consideration, but it's not on my mind at all. Not ever since I've been involved in politics. Mind you, I have had a number of people who said to me that they would like to see it. And I respect people's views, but it's not, listen.
So other people have said this to you, Mr. Cummings?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have said it to him. I have said this to him.
I thought it was just me.
I have said to Daniel, I think he'd make a good leader.
opinion.
What's so wrong with
thought
that?
it was just me who thinks that you have a leadership problem.
No, now you really don't know what the problem is. I like you. You really don't know what the problem. What is problem?
You don't think that there's a leadership problem in the NDP?
Let me tell you. Let me help you on this one.
Okay, let me hear your explanation.
What you perceive as a problem for us is what is a nightmare for the other side.
But you're not winning. But you're not winning the general election.
Wait, my brother. While we have many persons who could walk into that position overnight, tell me one on the other side.
Camelo, I like Camelo.
I don't know.
One.
I don't know, but they're winning.
If he wins.
But they're winning. But the ULP winning.
For the time being. We have 2 weeks
but the
left.
ULP is winning.
We have 2 weeks left to prove that, my brother.
Well, Baby Doll, you want to continue, Baby Doll?
No. The NDP,
I'm ready to deal with him.
The NDP is proud of its leadership individual and leadership style and the results. I say, since 2001, we have been increasing our margins.
But increasing doesn't make you win, Mr. Cummings, and that is what is important. How the hell can 4 seats making you win? You're not winning the general elections. You're not in government, Mr. Cummings. That is what is important.
Of course it is.
So why are you not winning?
But the will of the people is first and foremost.
Well, the will of the people thinks that you have poor leadership, and that is why you're not voted into government.
The people like you think so, Bing. But the vast majority of the people...
Baby Doll thinks so as well. Emron thinks so.
Wait.
Stephen Joachim thinks so. Junior thinks so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Danny.
You know, he
While
really
you calm
reminds
down.
me of the ULP. You believe, Bing, that by shouting and screaming
You too, Mr. Cummings. You do it in the House of Parliament all the time. You too.
No, not all the time. The difference between you and I is that I speak facts.
Okay.
I won't tell you what you speak.
What is your fact
I am
about
saying that
winning?
the leadership of the NDP is solid and confident.
Your solid leadership is not winning an election.
We have been winning to the point where the last election we took away 4 seats from the ULP.
But Mr. Cummings, you did not win the election.
You know they talk about 4 in a row? You know they talk about the last time we took 4, but this time we're going to take more than 4.
How many are you taking, Anna, this time?
I would put it this way. The ULP has a chance at 1.
Oh, jeez.
No, I definitely think that you
the ULP, and I chose my words very carefully. They have a chance at 1.
He's lost it.
They have a chance at 1.
And you're going to win this time.
Not me, the people of West Kingston.
Well, I know you're going to win. I know you're going to win. I hope you do.
I'm not in West Kingston. I don't reside in West Kingston.
Where do you live?
I live in Central.
He's in Central.
You're voting for Major,
I live in the heart of NDP
Are
and
you
Sharps.
voting for Major or for
Of
Barry?
course.
Anyway, you see,
who Major? Wait, Major had somebody against him too? I didn't know that. How come
Bread for vote. Bread for vote.
How come people don't tell me these things,
Bread for
man?
vote
I
is
wasn't
running.
aware of that.
Bread for vote is running against Major, and he's going to get all his bread eaten, and he's going to get licks.
I agree with the bread and the licks. No, but seriously, I mean, Major doesn't have a challenge. And I'm being as kind as I can to my family. He's a member of my family.
My friends have said to me, many of them have said that say what you like about Ralph and whatever, right? It's a certain type of leadership, and it's firm, and between him and Julian and how they're running the campaign, they have a clear strategy. They don't think that the NDP, I mean, it's only 2 weeks to go now, but certainly in the last 6 months, have been as focused as they needed to be with a single, solid message across the board.
Well, I will tell you this, which is a fact. There is a lot of friction in the ULP. There's a big bassa between Julian and his cousin. Big bassa.
Really?
And it has everything to do with a certain tape. Even Julian has apparently got some level of morality in him. And there's a big bassa between them. So let them bust their own body. Me not getting in that, you know. Me staying out of that. But let them deal with that. I can tell you that the New Democratic Party is steady, firm, and ready. We have people, listen, we have already selected our agriculture minister. We have people who've been shadowing trade and industry and private sector, tourism, health. But Mr. Eustace has not only put people to shadow, but allowed them to lead in the area, to gain the level of knowledge and appreciation, to be prepared to undertake the responsibility in the various portfolio. That is what leadership is about. Who in the NDP, in the ULP, could sit down and argue with Ralph? Which one of them? Which people talk about this kind of leadership. It's good for an image, but it has destroyed this country. Because no man is that good.
Some people like
no man
me
is that good.
may look at that very same situation which you're preaching and you're very proud about and say it is also poor leadership.
Well, Bing, your definition of leadership obviously
it's crazy. It's crazy.
No.
It's crazy.
No. It doesn't dovetail with what is accepted as a normal definition.
Clearly, it is because your leader has not won a general elections as yet.
Absolute crap. He has won. He has won every election he faced the poll.
No, I'm not speaking about from the head of the party. I am speaking as a leader of the NDP. The NDP has not won general elections under the leadership of Mr. Honourable.
Thus far. But let me ask you something. How many times did the current Prime Minister run? Wait. You see, you don't want to say. How many times did Ralph Gonzalez run and lose the deposit before Benson Beach gave him a safe seat?
You are talking
how many times?
Below the cattle tail. Mr. Cummings.
Below who?
I'm talking
the facts, man.
Mr. Gonzalez was running not as the leader of a mass political party, and you know that.
Are you know that as well? He was head of MNU.
What was MNU? MNU is like DRP or the Green Party. You know that, Mr. So you're trying to justify. You're trying to justify.
In other words,
Anna Musa's not winning the elections by campaigning Ralph Gonzalez as head of the MNU. That's crazy. You're crazy, Mr. Cummings. You are crazy.
Well,
you need to get your head checked.
You have freedom of speech. But if everybody who's listening to us will agree that Ralph Gonzalez could never have been Prime Minister unless Sir Vincent Beach sold out to him.
I agree.
He couldn't be in Parliament up to today.
I agree. But he was not head of a mass political...
Yes. You want to compare him with Arne Eustace? Who came... Wait. When Arne Eustace won his seat in 1998, NDP was the most unpopular. When he won in 2001, it was the worst.
NDP?
The NDP was at its lowest level.
Under whose leadership?
Sir James.
In 2001?
Yeah, listen, Arne Eustace had the thing for 6 months.
Go ahead.
The influence
okay, go ahead. The following year, the following election was when?
Coming on, look at the substantial improvement in the popular vote.
Was when?
And let me tell you, in 2005.
Yes. Who was the leader then?
In 2005. They say I didn't win my seat in West Kingston. But everybody knows the thief. Everybody knows I beat Rennie Batiste in 2005.
Yeah, but
Julian Francis stole Rennie Batiste. That she didn't win.
Daniel, how do you thief an election?
Telling me?
Yeah. Mitchell handed a safe seat to Mr. Eustace, and you know it, Mr. Cummings.
What was safe about that?
James handed a safe seat to Mr. Eustace. The people, he also handed 2 seats to the NDP in the Grenadines. And you know it.
Well, Bing,
listen, Daniel.
No, but I understand your need to make Sir James look good. And
so you don't think he looked good by handing 2 seats?
Listen, man.
You don't think that's good? You don't think that's good?
I don't have a problem.
What do you mean to look good?
I have nothing.
What do you mean by Sir James? I'm making Sir James look good. What do you mean by that?
In this country, who can deny the political acumen of Sir James?
Your party. Your party and your leader.
Only Ben.
Your party, your leader, and Ben Exeter. And your leader, and Ben Exeter.
It's the only
your leader has called him, what is it, an acolyte of the ULP.
The only
Do you think that was
party
okay, let me
that has lived beyond its founding leader. And that is a testimony to the work of Arnim Ulrich Eustace. In rebuilding, he set about in 2001 to stay away from the antagonizing the ULP and building the party from the ground up to the point where in less than 2 weeks we will be in government.
And I want to say, if you was leader, you would have already won the general election.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah. Daniel, I have a question.
You're entitled to your
I have
opinion.
a question because it's important that people understand the process of how elections work. Because whoever loses this election, I suspect, is going to claim that there was teething and there was corruption and whatever.
Well, we have seen signs of it already.
Well, tell me how it is that that is done in your view. You said you lost in 2005 because it was basically stolen from you. Tell me how that is possible.
Very easy. I went into the election machinery in 2005 as a novice and assuming that the ULP were normal people. We prepared ourselves for Sunday school not knowing that we were going to war. And I mean this absolutely. Those people broke every aspect of the law. They bend it in so many ways. They stopped at nothing to make sure that they got into victory. When you can put a man like Hugh Raggy, who was legally blind, whose life is built on corruption, to be a presiding officer in an election, you have one objective in mind, and achieve he did. That's exactly what he did achieve.
So the point here, though, Daniel, if you...
Had I had the knowledge that I have today, he could never have been a presiding officer. We would have been disqualified.
So I want to make sure here in this case, presiding officer or not, right? If you have the right structures in place and you have the right people in every polling division, and the votes are counted then and there, and you are checking, how can you steal an election?
Well, let me show you.
If the NDP does their job right, how do you steal an election?
But you hit the nail on the head. In fact, we fail in not having the people in the polling station properly trained. I, as a candidate myself, wasn't fully aware of the rules and the regulation. And so you have a situation where I went to the supervisor of election and pointed him to the fact that Ragge has been tearing the ballot in the completely opposite position and tearing off the people's X, thereby exposing how the people vote. And the supervisor of election denied it and did nothing. And he did that in about 30 cases.
So how do you make sure that doesn't happen again? Will you have people there with cameras filming what's going on?
Mr. Ragge is legally blind.
You better believe. You better believe. I want to remind the supervisor of election today.
Fair elections.
I want to remind the supervisor of election today that she has a responsibility to make known to all candidates who the presiding officers are, what the competencies are.
And do you all know that yet, or you do not yet?
Up to now, we have no word. I want to remind her also that I'm hearing things that they're changing a lot of the polling stations, different locations. It is less than 2 weeks, and she has not informed the population to tell people where they're going to vote. You cannot wait until the 99th hour. That is information that should be in everybody's face already. If I didn't ask, I wouldn't know this thing. I am hearing that there's a possibility that instead of 17 polling divisions, there's likely to be 19 in West Kingstown. I'm going into election, and if I didn't ask, I wouldn't know. What the supervisor of election needs to be fair to all concerned and do her work and do it properly.
Being as a responsible
it is long time everybody should know where the polling stations are.
Correct.
How many polling stations there are? Because there's so much confusion if you wait until close election day and just drop these votes. The supervisor of election needs to get up off her backside and do her work. What she's being paid for.
Do you have confidence in the supervisor of election?
Very limited.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I am not satisfied with that she is working in the interest of all the people.
So you do not have confidence in her?
No.
Mr. Cummings has stated on record. Hold on, Stephen.
Categorically.
Mr. Cummings has stated on record that he do not have confidence.
Let me add to that. When that lady was appointed, and for the first couple of years, I would have had a different opinion. But I've seen enough and heard enough to realize that something has gone wrong.
And if you're to win the general elections, will you still say that you do not have confidence in her?
I've stated the result of the election will not change that. Right is right, wrong is wrong. She is not acting as professionally as she ought to. But and the evidence, why would the leader of the main opposition write to the supervisor of election on such critical matters, and she would fail as a public officer to even acknowledge the letter? That is, what you call that? Contempt. absolute contempt as a public officer. It's shameful. In any civilized society, she would be fired.
Well,
Absolute contempt. People need to feel that this woman is acting in a fair manner.
Yes.
If you want to treat the leader of the next government with such utter contempt, then you're really not fit for the job. That is not. Listen, that is not a minor error, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
That is grave. That's very grave.
The one thing that
I really thought better of her.
Okay, count.
The one thing that we have to insist on in this election is it's free and fair elections. That is the most critical
and
thing.
perception is reality.
Perception
so if
is
Mr.
reality.
Cummings is feeling that way,
if he's feeling that way, I think that the media out there needs to call on this woman and tell her she needs to have a press conference to address these very serious
accusations. But we have so much evidence of illegal registration.
You can't do this. You cannot take away
what are you doing about those
rights?
Evidence?
We have been submitting them to the woman. She's not even acknowledging much more to respond.
We're going to try to get her to come in one of these
No,
mornings.
she really needs to pull us up. I have nothing against the lady, but as I said when she first came on, I was impressed. But within recent times, her actions have made me have to change my mind.
Let me ask you some more direct questions, Mr. Cummings. I understand and I agree with you, and Stephen and I are going to check that out. We're going to try to see if we can get Mrs. Spindley Scrubs to come in, and we're going to ask some direct questions.
Tell us about the whole process and make sure everybody's aware of it.
Let me tell
people should know the polling divisions they're in right now.
I've made it clear from many times. For a presiding officer, I don't care about the politics of the person. All I want as a presiding is somebody who will do what they're supposed to do across the board.
Okay, let me just ask you some quick questions because we're out of time. You're speaking about persons who you do not have confidence in. The Speaker of the House.
We have a Speaker of the House?
Do you have confidence in the Speaker of the House?
Parliament has been prorogued. We don't have a Speaker.
Well, previously.
You mean what passed for speakership?
Yes. Do you have confidence in that person, Mr. Hendrik Alexander?
Is that a real question?
No,
you cannot be serious. Is that a yes or no? Is that a yes or no? Look into the camera. Look into the television camera and answer that. Is that a yes or no?
You amaze me.
Okay, so that's a no. That's a no.
I don't want to speak on the matter because there is a matter before the court of this land.
Okay, so let's scratch that. Let's scratch it. Really? Really?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I want to get to that. I want to get to that. Next question. Do you have confidence in the Commissioner of Police? Look into the camera.
Really weird questions.
Look into the camera and answer that.
I call the man a jackass.
Okay. Next one. That's a no.
No, he doesn't have confidence.
Do you have next one? Do you have confidence in the Governor General?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Freddie's a good man.
Great.
I know the man personally.
Yes, he's a good relationship with him. Will you vote to keep him as Governor General?
That's not for me to vote.
No, in cabinet. It's a cabinet decision,
I want to be Governor General.
There are several things. I don't know that Sir Freddie is interested.
Daniel, will you put in a word for me?
Job.
I would like to be Governor General.
Next one. I want to ask you about an incident that took place in Parliament. I always wanted to ask you about this. How did you feel being pelted down the stairs at the House of Parliament? The first time in the Caribbean something like this has happened. How did you feel about that matter? How do you feel still about that matter?
As I said, that matter is before the court.
Okay.
I would tell you, I really thought that I had left the earth and I was on some distant planet. Because I cannot believe that normal human beings bring themselves to act as such tyrant, driven by a partisan political motive. It's a disgrace.
And who do you think is responsible for that?
I would not comment on that.
Okay. Were your injuries as serious as you have suggested they are?
Yes.
Turn the camera to him, please.
I never knew that Bing was such a comedian.
Yeah, no. But answer me, please. Yes or no, Mr. Cummings?
Have you ever had a back injury?
No, I've never had one.
No idea.
Then that explains.
Okay.
My brother, I've never experienced such. Wait, I've never experienced such excruciating.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
The medics in Trinidad had to take the discs out of two of my third and fourth and fifth vertebrae and fuse them together to form one.
That sounds painful. That sounds painful.
An operation that involved about 36 stitches or
so are you suing the Speaker of the House for this?
I have.
You have sued him
before the court.
Okay, you're going to ask for compensation.
The Attorney General and so forth.
Okay, all right, cool.
And the police officers.
Of course. Yeah. How come? Yes.
It is one thing I want to come out of this. This must never be allowed to happen in our country. Never, ever.
I think we all agree with you.
Never, ever.
We all agree.
It's unthinkable. When I speak to people around the world, they look at me as though I'm loco. They say, that can't happen. In a civilized society that never... I saw in Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, for example, the Speaker wanted Bazde Pandey to go out of the Parliament. Bazde refused. For more than an hour, they had a standoff. And he asked the police to do it. The police, about 3 of them, came up to Bazde. And Bazde said, if you put one hand on me, I will deal with it.
So how come nobody put a hand on Major?
Ask Major.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this final one, okay, and then I'm going to let Stephen talk. Do you personally believe that Sir James, and you know my interest here, do you personally believe that Sir James is an acolyte of the ULP and Ralph Gonsalves, personally?
I don't think that he is now. He may have
So
been.
you thought he was?
Listen.
You said no, so I'm just trying to clarify.
I said he may have been. I don't know.
So
Mr. Eustace had information which led him to believe that. And I know Mr. Eustace would not make that statement unless he has something to back
That's
it up.
serious. That's serious.
I know he... Listen,
yeah. I'm asking you personally, not Mr. Eustace. You personally.
I am not fully aware of all the facts, but from what I am aware of, I believe Mr. Eustace was justified.
No, you. What do you think?
I do not think he is now.
What do you think in terms of in the past? You thought that he was?
I said if Mr. Eustace says...
No, I'm asking you, Mr. Cummings, not Mr. Eustace. Are you of the opinion that Sir James
You need a translator. I said if Mr. Eustace said that, I believe it. Because I know the man. I believe it.
So you believe
I believe
Sir
that
James...
Mr. Eustace genuinely believed that is the situation.
And you, what do you believe?
I don't know. Because
You don't know what you believe?
All the information.
You don't know what you believe?
I know exactly what I believe.
So why don't you say it?
I believe you're provoking me.
You actually believe that? You
because
really
I
believe
that the listeners get it loud and clear what I am saying.
My friend, listen, it's almost wrap-up time.
When the microphone is screwed on tightly, right? You screw the microphone. Don't want him to feel the microphone.
I
made it abundantly clear, Bing.
Look, Daniel,
I am disappointed. I am disappointed in you and Mr. Eustace. I am disappointed in you and Mr. Eustace for thinking what you said just now. I am disappointed in you.
Well, that's why we have a free society.
Yes. Yeah.
But I admire Sir James.
Yeah, Stephen, you up. Final.
And I believe he has been dealt a nasty blow with respect to Otley Hall, and that is why on my political campaign I've been championing
a man
the Otley Hall.
Who's an acolyte of Ralph Gonsalves. You're just saying that about a man who...
Okay. No. I didn't say that, Bing. Let me correct you.
Let's move on.
I said Mr. Eustace must have had information that led him to believe that. That's what I said. Bing, you need to be careful, man.
Being careful? What's wrong with you? He's passionate and
I guess you wouldn't have this program if you were.
No. He wouldn't be the number one on the radio station now if he was normal, okay? There's something wrong with him. Many things wrong with him. Daniel, this is the first program, I think, where we haven't read a single WhatsApp.
Oh my God, there are millions of them. I can't get to
single one.
He's a great guest. I love to do it. You
have done, in my view, amazingly well.
Yeah, I love to do it again.
Definitely, we got some fire and brimstone today.
Yeah.
I noticed I've never been invited back on what's the other program?
IKTV. Tony read this one.
Tony. I had a very nice session with Tony one time.
Did you enjoy your session with us this morning?
Oh, 100%.
100%.
This is not nice radio, Daniel.
And we had no pelting.
I would like to be invited onto Star Radio and WFM. I would enjoy it, man.
Do you
I
think
could go into their den and unarm them.
Okay, great. You've done well. Give him some love, everyone. You've done well. Give him some applause. Come on. Yeah. He lost it a couple times, really? But I enjoyed it. For a moment, I thought you guys were not going to have me on this program. Why?
I told you we were saving the best of the ND people last. And we're saving the best of the people last.
Would you think Mr. Andy Muses will come on this program? Seriously.
Has he been invited?
Not yet.
But you think he will come?
But he will be.
Invite him.
He will be.
Mr. Eustace needs to understand. I'm just doing a job.
You will get a shot.
I'm just doing a job and I'm a responsibility.
We are going to invite the president.
It's the same thing to IKTV, you know. They stop inviting him to IKTV.
Oh, Lord. He said he will never come back.
Yeah, but they stop inviting him. That's a long time ago. You like
Yeah. You can't hold grudges forever, man. Now we move on.
All right, like Mr. Eustace. I can't hold grudges like Mr. Eustace.
Any event.
You should invite him. I will. You charm the pants off him.
We would invite both of them need to come. Daniel, thank you for coming. We appreciate it very much.
It's been my pleasure, man.
We have heard different. Yesterday we had Camilo. Today we had you. As far as I'm concerned, there's only 2 bigger people left to come.
You know, Bing, I have had a lot of people tell me, I don't go on that program with Bing. I said, what the hell what you talk? What can Bing
We're
do?
harmless.
Listen, the truth will stand up in any environment. And I'll tell you honestly, I really enjoy being on your program.
Excellent.
We had
We're very happy.
We had fun. We had fun.
We had a good
Give him
time.
some more love. Give him some more applause.
And hopefully, more importantly, we do these things because we want the people out there to listen, to be informed, be educated. So when they go into that polling station, they will do what they think is right with their own conscience.
Your friend,
thank you,
Mr. Leacock, said that we are doing a great job for democracy. He said it on the radio.
But I totally agree.
He said it on the radio. We're doing a great job for democracy.
A lot of people believe these programs have got to be partisan one way or the other. You defeat the purpose. We need more. And Bing, I want to tell you something, and that's why I love Dougie the Freitas so. Dougie the Freitas was a person who gave NDP hell when they deserved it.
Yep.
And he has been given ULP hell. And when we get in government, if we foul up, Dougie will want to be against us. And that is what I like. Yeah. Any government that fails to take on board criticism cannot improve. Any individual who shuns criticism is stuck in gear. You can only go one way, that's down. Criticism is aimed at helping to make you a better person. And I've always said I'm never run away from anything because I'm guided by the truth. I don't have to remember what I said yesterday because I didn't make it up. Like some people who lie every time, they don't remember what they said 3 years ago. That's why people quote them and make an ass out of them. When I come in these programs, I deal with the truth and nothing but the truth. I am human. I can make a mistake, but I'm big enough to come back and admit. When I stoned the building that was the community center Bing, I went on radio. It was a community building illegally operating as a church. Planning had required them to vacate that place a long time ago. But I went on radio and admitted to it.
Yes,
why some people don't go on radio and admit if or not they raped anybody?
And you said
or
that
if the sex voice, if the voice on the septic, is theirs.
You will stone
as
the
a public
again.
officer, as a public officer, you need to tell people the truth. Admit it. If you didn't do it, say you didn't do it. If the voice is yours, say it's yours. If it ain't yours, say it ain't yours. You have a responsibility. Don't send your daughter to try and cover up. Your daughter didn't be in there.
I think you make my radio station get sued. I have no more money.
Right.
I don't have any
On
money.
that note, this is the time to say good day and remind everybody. Let's remind everybody, please. Let's remind everybody that these things are being video recorded. They will be on IKTV, and we want you to go and watch IKTV tonight and every night.
And they said to ask Ralph, so I asked Ralph. By the way, who's Ralph? They said to ask Ralph, so I asked Ralph. That's why I asked Ralph.
Mr. Cummings, thank you very much for coming in.
Goodbye, we're gone. On that note, boy, we need to leave.
All right, goodbye until tomorrow morning. We'll be back.
IKTV tonight.
I catch you on IKTV tonight.
IK.
Yeah, we go. Love you.